Welcome to Week 7 of the CFL Weekly Pick'em show on the Grueling Truth Radio Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. I want to welcome in my co-host, which we have 4 of tonight. We've got, first up, Os Davis.
Wow, I can't believe I get to be introduced first. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Well, it's because we saved the best ones for last.
Oh, okay. You got me.
So I try to rotate Robert and Dieter every week. So
it's age for beauty, so that's what I take it as.
So Brian, you know who's up next. I want to welcome in my other co-host, Brian Schmidt.
Well, at least I get to go second this time. That's pretty good.
What were you last week?
I think I was first last week.
Oh, well, see, I rotated around. All right. Also, of course, we have our CFL legends first up, because I think last week I did Robert first. The first up will be Dieter Brock, CFL Hall of Fame quarterback. How you doing, Dieter?
I'm great, Mike. I'm not sure I should be here. Maybe my wife should be here instead of me with the way the predictions are going.
Well, actually they could probably have all our wives or girlfriends here and do better than what we've been doing. Last week, Robert and Dieter won, going 1-3. The rest of us didn't do that good, and I'll just leave it at that. Also, we've got former 4-time Grey Cup winner, Robert Drummond.
As I said before, age before beauty. I feel good about that, but thank you for having me, as always.
All right, Dieter, we're going to go to you first since, I was busting your ass last week. Winnipeg, 31, Edmonton, 23. What was your take on the game, and especially quarterback Matt Nichols?
Well, Nichols he played great. He did some things, I think, that Drew Willie didn't do. He put the ball downfield, and they came up with some big plays, and he got. I think they got the Winnipeg going for a change, and defensively they played well, and I thought they played great, and I thought he did a great job.
All right, Robert, Edmonton. I mean, we keep waiting for this team to be what we thought they would be. I mean, is there cause for concern yet?
Can someone give them a call and find out where their defense is? I mean, because they are not playing well at all. And the one telling tale I always say about a team is when your quarterback, when Riley's the leading rusher, in the game, you're in trouble. I mean, you're in a lot of trouble, and they better right that ship, but they better right it fast, because a team who I thought had all the pieces together, for that midway push that I thought not playing well right now, especially on the defense side as well.
All right, now, Oz, I know we've talked about this before. Edmonton lost almost their entire coaching staff last year, lost some players. Is this a case where maybe they're just not gelling yet?
Wow, it's almost a question of can they gel? They certainly. I mean, how did this team score 37 points against the Red Blacks in Week 1? I mean, it was the same team more or less. They haven't had nearly as many injury issues as some of the other teams in the CFL, and yet they look as though they've degenerated. Now, you guys were just talking about, is this the team we expected? I think this is the team you have to expect. I mean, when you lose the 5 coaches, you lose 7 guys who were potential starters or starters alone. I mean, that's enough right there. And I just wonder what they can do going forward. I mean, this may be too many holes.
Yeah, and back on the Winnipeg front, Brian, I think the big thing there, Matt Nichols played really well, but it makes it a lot easier for your quarterback to play well when you got a guy like Andrew Harris running the ball 22 times for 127 yards.
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed watching that game, just the ability offensively to run the football, and it makes it so much easier. I mean, play action, you're 26-33, 304 yards, 1 touchdown, but they did some things with play action, and it's all set up because of the running game, because when you've got a running back that can, get you the yards he was getting, doing the things he was doing, I mean, it just makes everything easier. It's easy to call a game, and it's easy to play the game of football offensively. When you can be successful running the football, it's going to make you successful throwing the football, and that's what they did.
All right, so now we'll move on to the other guy whose ass I always bust because his team usually sucks. Last week, we'll go to Oz. Quarterback Kevin Glenn threw for 299 yards, pair of touchdowns. Duron Carter is always one of the best receivers in the CFL, 115 receiving yards. The Owls' defense was great. They went 41-3 over Saskatchewan. What's your take?
Wow. Well, okay. I thought, especially on offense, that this was the maximum production they could possibly get from this lineup. I like how Kevin Glenn was able to spread it around. I like the fact that Duron Carter is getting 11 targets in quality time this week instead of the 3 targets he got last week. I still can't figure that out. But even more what I like about Carter's game in this game was that they were actually using him as an option on, like, medium routes. In other words, yes, we can use him for more than the long ball threat. Like the defense as well. I'm still goggled about the defense because of the short rest. But I'll tell you what, every cloud, every silver lining has a cloud. Just today the news came across that not only was Brandon Bridge, the Canadian quarterback, released from this team, they actually offered to keep him if he took a pay cut. Okay, so in other words, now at this point in the season, they're starting to address the salary cap issues that we knew about 9 months ago. Not exactly a great sign going forward. I am just happy that we had this one game because I really don't think it's going to get better this season. I think that was our game. Yay, Alouettes.
All right. Brian, Mitchell Gale played really well last week. Everybody was going over the top. Maybe they don't need Darren Durant. 23 for 41, 211 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. How much concern is there in Saskatchewan right now?
They need Darren Durant. I mean, honestly, I mean, he didn't play that great, but again, I mean, at this, Montreal's defense is pretty good, and I think obviously Darren Durant, I think helps them. I'm still just blown away at 41-3. If you're Saskatchewan, I mean, right now, obviously you don't want to be panicking, but at the same time, there's got to be some evaluation of, player-wise, personnel, scheme. There's got to be some evaluation of, where are we at, right now and what needs to be better, because 41-3 against Montreal, that can't sit well for anybody. So there definitely has to be some evaluation on what they need to do moving forward, because it don't get any easier.
Yeah, my big question, Robert, Duron Carter, 115 yards. We talked last week how you got to have more weapons, but is there a better weapon in the CFL as a wide receiver than Duron Carter?
No, there's no better weapon right now in the CFL than Duron.
Wow.
He makes plays, but the 41 point. I mean, I couldn't believe that. I mean, as a former player, I mean, there are games. I mean, you can understand, and you can stomach. I'll say, losing. You can lose by 3 points. You can lose by 2 touchdowns. Hell, you can lose by 21 points. But to get blown out in a game, by a team like Montreal who is struggling themselves, you start questioning yourself. You start questioning your ability and what it is you are as a team. So this could be a very, very, very telling situation, for Saskatchewan, because from this point forward, I said the middle of the season, these teams are going to start to figure out if they're contenders or if they're pretenders. Right now, this is a huge step back for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Nice.
Yeah, and Dieter, Saskatchewan's coming off one of the biggest wins of the year for any team. Got a big win there. Now they're 1-4. They've got to play the Calgary Stampeders, I believe, in Calgary at McMahon Stadium. Is it time to press the panic button? Is this a must-win a third of the way through the season?
Well, it's going to be very difficult, but looking at, I think everybody here was thinking, Saskatchewan was ready to turn it around when they beat Ottawa the week before, and Mitchell Gale played so well, but I almost picked Montreal last week just because of their defense, and their defense is really good. I mean, And Kevin Glenn is capable of having big games, and certainly he had a great game, and Deron Carter's made some huge plays, but I'm shocked with this score from last week. So Saskatchewan, they're going to have a tough time the way it's going, and we thought with their coaching staff and the way they came back against Ottawa and won that they were actually going to get this thing rolling a little bit, and now they're looking like it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, now it looks like they're trying to roll uphill instead of downhill.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought the whole time, was that this whole first 4 games of the season were about getting that first win, and then now all that progress seems to have disappeared instantly. And now it's like they got to start
you're now going to steal my thoughts?
Oh, sorry. Great minds think alike.
All right, knock it off. All right, now we go to what I think was the game of the year so far. Great comeback, late fourth quarter surge by the Calgary Stampeders, helped them claw back to a thrilling 44-41 overtime victory over BC. The Stamps scored 22 points in the fourth quarter on their way to the comeback, led by Bo Levi Mitchell, who threw for 364 yards. We'll start off with Robert. There's a lot of people all over Jonathan Jennings because of this game. I think those people need to chill out. I think the kid played a great game. He's 24 years old. Things like this happen. My question is, was it more of a coaching problem? Would you have wanted to see them run the ball and punt it, which is what I was thinking watching the game, and instead of them having to go less than 40 yards, they'd had to go 70 yards in a minute?
You know what the problem of the game was? Honestly, giving up 22 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, defense wins championships. And that's what you state that through youth football, through high school football, through college football, all up into the pros. Defense are what wins championship, and you can't give up 22 points in the fourth quarter, in a game-winning field goal in overtime, and expect to win a game. They have only themselves to blame when they sit down, because we always sat down after a game and watched the game film, and you always see the mistakes you made. But to give up 22 points in the fourth quarter, the offense right now, I'm telling you for a fact, is upset with the defense because of that situation. And me and Dieter both can tell you, we lived it. It's like, when we put enough points on the board and we give you a lead going into the fourth quarter, you should hold that lead. You're one of the top defense, if not the top defense in the league, and you give up 22 points in the fourth quarter, shame on BC. Calgary earned this win.
All right, Dieter, same question to you. I mean, do you question any of the play calling at the end of the game, and do you question Jonathan Jennings at all?
No, I thought Jennings played fairly well. I'm like Robert. I think I think we all thought this was going to be a lower scoring game than it was, and BC came in being one of the best defenses or the best defense in the CFL so far. And I knew Calgary was very good also, and you would think Calgary had the advantage offensively with Mitchell, but BC giving up 22 points there in the fourth quarter, and supposedly having a great defense, that doesn't bode well. But it was a great game, and Calgary I think is gonna have I think they're a great offensive football team. They're going to be hard to stop. But this was, a tough one for BC to lose, especially with giving up the points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and Oz, you look at the game. I know I got Calgary number 1 in my weekly power rankings because I think they're as complete an offense as you get also. Yeah. Defensively, they're solid. They didn't really show it there. But Jerome Massam, Lamar Durant, these guys averaged, if you look at it, the 4 guys that carried the ball averaged 7.5 yards, 12 yards, 7.3 yards, 6.0 yards. And then you got Bo Levi Mitchell throwing for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. Do you think they're the best team right now?
Yes, they are. I wanted to go back. Actually, I did want to drop one number here that's relevant, and it kind of leads into what I want to go back to. Look, this team has allowed exactly 1 sack this season to anybody not named the BC Lions. Okay? That's a pretty good offensive line. You want to know why Bo Levy-Mitchell is about the only quarterback that's managed to stay on his feet for the past 2.5 seasons? It's because of this awesome offensive line. But I want to go back to the players here for a minute and say maybe you're being a bit too harsh on the BC defense. This is a team that got to the quarterback 4 times in this game. Again, more times than he's been touched since about halfway through last season. Bo Levy has been touched. And the last touchdown was scored thanks to the short field by the interception. Now, you don't want to make excuses for a defense that gives up 44 points, but this is a short field to work with, and this is Bo Levy-Mitchell. I mean, this is like the clutchest player probably in the league, probably the most outstanding player right now. You're really going to be that hard on the BC Lions defense?
Yes.
Yeah, but see, once again, though, you're still, when you give the ball to the other team, there's 40 yards in between them with a minute left. Your defense has still got to step up and make that stop if you want to be a championship team.
Fair enough.
Defense, championships. I mean, like, as great as our Argonauts teams were, you know, in the Doug Flutie in the Doug Flutie era, you know, when we had myself, you know, Pinball Clemens, you know, Paul Palmazzati, you know, Mookie Mitchell, Doug Flutie as quarterback. We ran up and down the field on everyone. It still took our defense to win championships. No matter how good an offensive is, you know, you still got to stop those players. And you're put in situations that will test you, you know, and you can tell the moxie and you can tell the caliber of a team, you know, by when you put them in a bad situation, if they can overcome that. That's something, as I said before, the middle of this season is going to determine, you know, the character of each team going forward. Watch the next 2 games and watch them closely, because it's going to tell. I mean, I can tell you after not this upcoming week, but the following week after that, I can tell you who's got the character to be able to go out there and win a Grey Cup championship.
All right, so Brian, what was your take on the Calgary-BC game?
Well, listening to Robert and Dieter, I mean, I agree totally with what they're saying, except one thing is from a coaching standpoint, they should have punted. To give defense an opportunity. They should have punted.
I should ask you a question, dang it. Everybody else ignores me.
You know, and I agree, you know, defense wins championship, and I also agree, you know, defense lost that game, you know, in the fourth quarter, 22 points. But at that particular moment, you punt the football, make them have to work the whole field. And you know, obviously the way things were going in the fourth quarter, they may have scored anyway. Who knows? But certainly you certainly give your defense an opportunity. But a great game. I'll tell you, I was very impressed with Jennings. He's really come on here in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Bo Levi-Mitchell is Bo Levi-Mitchell. I mean, that guy is, you know, we talked a lot for a few weeks. We talked a lot about, obviously, Trevor Harris. We talked about, you know, Riley. But, I mean, you know, this guy, I mean, he kind of slipped our conversation a little bit. But, you know, this guy just goes out and just, you know, gets it done. And you know, I definitely agree. I think right now, you know, especially with Trevor Harris being hurt, I mean, you know, this is a guy that's an MVP right now.
All right, that moves us to our last game of the week, Toronto Argonauts. Al Jefferson intercepted Henry Burris's pass in the final minute to secure a 23-20 victory for the Argonauts over the Red Blacks. We'll start off with Robert. Should Toronto just petition the league to play all away games?
You know,
I mean, because I think they've got 4 wins and 3 of them were on the road.
You know,
they did well last year with that.
They're leading the East.
Yeah.
You know, I
mean, I actually had them number 3 in my power rankings, and I don't know why, because, I mean, maybe it just gets down to, I don't know what you think, but maybe BC and Calgary are the best teams, and everybody else is just kind of in the same boat.
I mean, what a strange year. I mean, 1 week you'll see a team trying to jockey for position, and you're like, wow. Okay, this team, you know, whether it be Edmonton or whether it be Ottawa, or whether, you know, whoever it may be, you're like, wow, this team's starting to make a noise, you know, to be the front runner. Then they'll get beat, you know, by the half of an easy game. You know, it just goes to show you and goes to tell you that at any given day, any given time, you have to show up and play this game. Football is a very, very, very interesting game. You know, and as I said before, it goes in ebbs and flows. You know, it's not how you start. You know what? The middle of the season is what sets you up, and the end of the season is set you up to go into the playoffs. You know, so I mean, I said last week, the next two games now will determine which teams will be the forerunners going into the playoffs and onto the Grey Cup. And I'll tell you a lot more within the next 2 weeks because right now, it's fun to watch, but it's very, very interesting because it's head scratching. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, and I mean everybody seems like you got to have a backup quarterback to compete in the CFL.
Yes,
Dieter, what was your take on Logan Kilgore? I don't think too many people outside of his own, hometown knew who he was. Comes out, throws for 322 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he played really well. I mean, he hadn't had a lot of chances to play so far. So this guy did a great job, and I think they got a good offense anyway, but with their system, but and their defense, Toronto's defense. With Rich Stuber as a defense coordinator, they're going to be pretty dang good. And of course, they held Burst to 218 yards passing, and I like Toronto, but I was really shocked that they beat Ottawa there in Ottawa. But they're going to be a pretty good football team, and like I said, I think their defense is going to keep them in some games because of the system that Stuber runs.
Yeah, and I think if you look at this again, Robert, just like we talked about in the other games where you had a backup quarterback perform well or a quarterback perform well, Brandon Whitaker, 14 carries, 57 yards, 4 yards a carry, always helps out a young quarterback.
You know what? I mean, my philosophy is, who beats a team like Ottawa with a backup quarterback? I mean, but then on the other side, I can also be intelligent enough to understand, studying game film, understanding the game myself. Ottawa had no idea what to prepare for it. So Kilgore surprised them. Mm-hmm. They had no idea what to expect of this young man because there wasn't a lot of film on him, and they didn't know what to expect. They were so used to Ricky Ray, all the time playing in Toronto. So he surprised them. He got the victory. I mean, I think if they were to play this game 10 times, Ottawa would win 9 of those 10 times. But I don't believe in luck in football. I believe everything happens for a reason, and they got this victory. And it's just interesting. What are the dynamics of the CFL and the way it's making up this year? It's gonna be fun watching this go down to the end of the wire to see who gets into the playoff and eventually gets into the Grey Cup.
Yeah, and my big question here, Brian, is on the Ottawa front. You think more just it was a rusty Henry Burris than anything else?
Yeah, he was rusty.
Oh yeah, he was definitely rusty. But again, you got to give it up to Toronto's defense. I mean, yes, he was rusty, but Toronto's defense played really well. And I think at the end of the day, maybe this game shows a little bit just how important Trevor Harris is in Ottawa because, Henry Burris has done it for a lot of years, but watching Trevor Harris run offense and then watching this, yeah, he was rusty, but at the same time, everything is just different when Trevor Harris is in there. So, I think Ottawa's got to kind of tread water, and I think when Trevor Harris gets back, I think he definitely needs to be the guy.
All right, and then my take, you guys just talked about it. You watch BC Calgary, you watch Toronto. Oz, does Toronto have the best defense in the CFL?
Oh, no, certainly not. Certainly not. No way. I'd put a few more teams above them. I'd put, despite the basketball game that we watched, I'd put Calgary above them. I'd put BC above them. Sure. These are not flashy defenses, but I think this was Toronto's best game of the season defensively. I'm going to wait a couple of more games before I start putting them on that tier with teams like BC. BC may have fallen apart in the last 5 minutes of the game, but I think that's still a much more quality defense. Yeah, Can I get in a minute or two of rant here? Because I want to rant about this game.
I've been waiting for this for the last 20 minutes, and he finally just now does it.
Okay. Brian just texted me. When's Oz going to go off on one of his rants? I mean,
that's what I was waiting for. Here we go.
Okay, here's my rant for the week. Okay, now I ranted about this on the Rouge, White, and Blue as well, so you can hear more of this later. But I'm still boiling about something in this game. I think it was in the second quarter even. Fans at this game were booing Henry Burris and his offense, okay? Now, this is a team that not only is built around Burris, or at least he got them to the point that they're at right now. This is a team that hasn't existed for 3 years. And they're getting booed by a city that lost its team not that long ago. Now, if this team in 2 or 3 years starts turning in losing records, are the fans going to stop showing up? I mean, really, seriously. This was so Bush League. I was just so angered by that. And the reason why I'm going off on the rant is this. Here I am on this show. I'm on this show with coaches. I'm on this show with players, right? I'm not qualified to talk about some of the stuff that you guys are, but I'm qualified to speak as a fan, okay? And those Ottawa booing fans embarrassed their city and their fan base by doing that. And it just really irked me, especially since they've got one of the funnest, most interesting, most exciting teams in the CFL right now. They have a bad quarter and a half, and they deserve to get booed. Really Bush League. Really made me angry. You can see I'm still angry about this days later. You know, just
I can see your face is red and we're on the phone.
Exactly. Can you feel that? I
can feel the heat through the phone.
Angry. Just really made me angry. I like these Ottawa Redblacks, but now I think I hate their fans.
Well, heck. Now Ottawa Red Black fans will start sending me hate mail. All right. But I agree with you, but I think also that's kind of just the way fans are. What do you think, Robert?
Not all of us. That's the thing. Not all of us. And certainly not all fans in Ottawa are that short-sighted. I mean, that's...
All right, off. I said Robert. Go ahead, Robert. Sorry.
But you know what? All kidding aside, I mean, I fortunately, I was blessed enough to never in situations be booed because I was fortunate enough to always be on good teams. But I've been in situations before where we weren't playing well enough and we were booed. And as a player, it's and I don't mean this the wrong way. It's like, you know, we don't play this game for the fans. We play it because we love the game. You know, we love to impress the fans. We love to do well for them. But just like does a teacher boo a student when he makes a mistake? No.
I used to have a student throwing an eraser at me when I'd fall asleep, Robert. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, but that's not making me. But falling asleep is a natural action. It's not some. I mean, do they throw a eraser at you when you see you get a question wrong? Okay, so
I don't know. I was usually sleeping through them.
Someone wasn't perfect for that play. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to get better. You have to give them time. But you know, it's just like to sit there and boo. I've never booed an organization or anything, and I mean, and I've been a part of football. You know, since I was 6 years old. 5 years old, my entire life. You know, these guys are out there trying, giving 100%. They're trying to do their best. Yes, they're going to make mistakes, but you know, as fans, you have to understand that. You know, it will get better. It may take some time, but you know, let's just give these guys a break. You know, I mean, honestly, if you're going to boo, why come? Honestly.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a perfect example. We had a Bengals weekly show that me and former Bengal linebacker Joe Kelly did. We had Reggie Williams on as a guest. You remember Reggie Williams, great linebacker in the 70s and 80s. But Reggie went on like a 10-minute rant. The Bengals played the Ravens last game of the season. They'd already clinched the division championship over Schmidt Steelers, but they had clinched the division championship. And in the first half, they're down 3-0. And they had like 3 or 4 3-and-outs with their backup quarterback, A.J. McCarron. And the crowd boos. And, I mean, as Reggie Williams goes on his rant, he says, you know, when I played, the crowd could make a big difference, but they got to realize they can make a difference both ways.
Yeah.
Also, as a rebuttal, who won the playoffs, A, and B, from now on, when Oz goes on his rant, can we have music playing in the background because it would be so awesome?
We could. How about we're off to see the Wizard, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz?
Either way, if we get some music with his rant, it would be awesome because it would be.
Well, and you know, no matter who won the playoff game, Schmitty, the Steelers still suck. All right, let's get to the part of the part of the week that we all dread now. This is where we take the game. So put the women and children to bed because we don't want him to hear this. All right, so the first game of the week, the Hamilton Tiger Cats at Dieter's Blue Bombers. So we'll let Dieter, you got the first pick.
Okay, I've gone 2 weeks in a row picking against my old team, and I hate doing that, and I won't do it again. Even though Winnipeg has not won back-to-back games in, 2 years?
At least.
I am going to pick the Bombers to win this one. Matt Nichols, I think, showed what he could do last week, and I hope he can come up with another big game this week. Hamilton, though, has played well. Mazzoli played great the last time out. And I think Hamilton's got a good defense. But at home, I think the crowd's going to really be into it this week. And I'm going to pick the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for this one.
All right, Robert?
You know what? I have to agree. You know, what a big win. In Edmonton, and to come out of there with a victory. Granted, Edmonton didn't play as well as I thought they would play, but just to go in there and get that big victory, and now they have momentum. I just think Winnipeg has found what it takes to win games. And that's all you have to do right now. It's just about winning games. It's about surviving until the end of the season. So I'm going to go with Winnipeg also this week.
All right, Oz.
Wow, you guys are right. It was a great win. Oh, wait, you're not talking about Hamilton winning 37-31 against Edmonton? Oh, okay. See, I think that was a great win, and I think they have the bye week. I'm going
I don't
Hamilton.
like the tone of your voice while you're talking to us like that.
Zach Collaros.
That was kind of a smart-ass comment, but go ahead.
A little bit, yeah.
You can tell you're on the phone in your mom's basement on a computer, because if Robert was there and Dieter was there, you'd never say it.
My mom's basement. It's my basement. Thank you very much. No, I just going to sleep, I think, on Hamilton after what they did in that second half against Edmonton is a mistake. I think, no, they're not. Zach Collaros is not going to be playing quarterback for them, but I think that win was enough to give everybody confidence in Mazzoli. I think that they can definitely pull this off, and I think the bye week only helps. Hamilton.
All right, Brian?
Well, I've decided this week to make my picks by flipping a coin because it's got to be better than what I did last week. So with that, honestly, I think I'm going to go with flipping a coin here. I think I'm going to go with Hamilton. I don't believe that until Winnipeg can prove to me that they can win a couple in a row, it's hard for me to pick them. So I got to go with Hamilton.
All right. I don't know. When you look at it, Mazzoli, I don't know. Winnipeg runs the ball better. Winnipeg's at home. I still think the problem in Winnipeg is the front office hasn't changed. I'm going to say that win was a fluke, Dieter. I'm sorry. But
that's all right.
Then again, even if it's a fluke, they can still beat Hamilton because this is the CFL. I'm going to go with Hamilton because they're the away team, so they have the road advantage. So I'm going to go with Hamilton. Oz.
Yeah.
BC at Montreal.
No. Come on. You don't honestly
You said
think
that last week,
crazy.
too. You say that every time I say Montreal.
I know, but you don't honestly think I'm that crazy. No way.
You have no idea what I think of you. Go ahead.
The only positive spin I could possibly put on this is, well, gee, the Alouettes and the Lions scored as many points as each other last week, right? 41, right? Nah, it's not going to happen again. Nah, you got to go BC Lions. Look, I still think BC Lions are one of the top 2 or 3 best teams in the league. They're going to win this game. They're going to win this game by double figures.
All right. I hate to do this, but I'm going to agree with Oz again.
All right.
I think Montreal could give them trouble, especially BC coming off a tough road loss to Calgary. Now
they're going all the way to the east.
Yeah, so now they've got to go all the way back. They've got to play an away game on Thursday night. I'm going to go with BC, though. I just think that they're a better team than Montreal. Brian?
Yeah, my crystal 8 ball tells me to go with BC on this one. I agree. I don't think Montreal can do it back to back, and I still think BC is definitely one of the better teams in the league. I definitely feel like they'll win this game by a couple touchdowns.
So my question to you, Brian, is this. You've got a crystal 8-ball that you obviously, this is the first game you're using it on this year. Why didn't you use it earlier?
Oh, man, I've done everything this year. I've flipped coins. I've
been thinking about just picking whoever I think's going to lose to win and see how that works.
I've done that. I've done that already. I've done everything. And after last week, I got out there. And if this doesn't work, then I'll probably go to I guess deck of playing cards and whatever.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dog, who's a lab, and then I'm going to put the two teams like in a bowl, and each one, whichever one he goes to first. That's how I'm picking it next week. If I am 2-2 or worse right now, and I will videotape it and put it on YouTube for everybody to watch.
I think that's a great way to do it. I think that's a great way to do it. We all should just stop right there and just do that.
This is
and if my dog beats us, then I don't know. Maybe we get Purina to be a sponsor for the show. Then, Robert.
There's no way on this planet that Montreal puts up, 41 points on that BC defense. I don't care if it's in the third, fourth, second, or first quarter. I just don't see it. BC just has too much firepower. That good. Great defense is. It's just they're just going to be just too much of a match for Montreal. I'll be shocked if I'm sitting here next week and I say what happened, but I just don't see it happening. I'm going to go with BC.
All right, Peter.
Oh wow. Well, listen, guys. I guess I'm the only.
We've all picked BC, Dieter.
Exactly.
You should go with
Montreal. That's my logic. That's exactly what I'm thinking here. Hey, listen, guys. Look, I almost picked Montreal last week, but I'm damn sure I'm going to pick them this week. And it's there's a little logic in this, not a lot, but a little bit. I think Montreal's
just so you all know, we've all lost this game.
Well, y'all all picking against them, so this will give me a chance to get back into it a little bit. So I'm going to pick Montreal. I think they've got they're like I said before, their defense is I think is pretty dang good. Kevin Glenn plays well, and he played a great game last week. I think he's going to play another one this week. And BC having to travel out east, I'm going with Montreal.
All right. Dieter, you do realize you missed the first couple weeks on picking games. You're only like 3 back.
That's okay. I'm going to get back into I'm going to get ahead on this week, I think.
All right. Dieter's getting cocky on us. All right. Robert, Saskatchewan at Calgary.
Really?
Oh, man.
Hey, remember, we've thought this all year, and we've all ended up 1-3 like every week on average.
That's true, but I've always thought Calgary, was one of the strongest teams, coming into the season, and I'm not gonna waver for that. They just have, Ole by Mitchell just doing the things he does and everything. I got to go with Calgary. I go with Calgary in a blowout.
Yeah, I agree with Robert. Brian.
Yeah. I keep saying got to go with Calgary, and then I keep thinking, boy, every time I felt that this was a lock, I've lost. But I got to go with Calgary. I think they're, right now, I think they're showing to be the best team in the league, and that will be my downfall in making this pick. So, but I still got to do it. I still got to go with Calgary.
All right, Dieter.
Okay, I'm not going to be this crazy on this one. This definitely is going to be Calgary. And I'm not sure. So maybe Robert was saying it's going to be a blowout. I definitely think this is going to be a big win for Calgary. I don't think Saskatchewan's got a chance in this one. I don't think Saskatchewan's got a chance.
All right, Oz.
Calgary.
Calgary is the only team that wins consistently at home this season. Bo Levi-Mitchell is facing a second-rate secondary. Yeah, I'll go with Calgary. Yeah, sure.
All righty. Brian, Edmonton at Ottawa. Now, this is an interesting game.
It sure is.
3 weeks ago, you'd have thought maybe it's the 2 best teams in the league. Now you're not sure.
Yeah, now I don't even know who to pick. I keep going back and forth on this one. Boy, I'm going to go with Edmonton only because of Riley. I'm going to go with Edmonton, and that's the only reason I can give right now is just because I have faith in him as a quarterback, and I believe they'll put up some points. They may give up 40, but I believe that, if they give up 40, they'll score 41 in this game. So I'm going to go with Edmonton.
All right, Dieter?
Well, I think I was kind of thinking Edmonton might turn it around a little bit, but I'm going back. I just think they've lost too much defensively. They've lost too many good players defensively. And Mike Riley's a great quarterback, but, they're even struggling a little bit there protecting him. And I just think Ottawa is going to come back and bounce back this week and have a good week. And I'm going to go with, Ottawa. I just don't think Edmonton is as good as a team as I thought they were going to be.
All right, Robert?
I watched that Edmonton defense, and I'm saying to myself, I myself have come back from injury, and then, the first game, you're rusty. I've had games before where I've come back from injury, I've had 2 fumbles and never a great game. You're getting back into it. And I just think Hank is going to go out there and finally shake the rust off and go out there and perform like he's capable of performing. Got to go with Ottawa.
All right, Oz?
The Red Blacks, to me, are one of the most interesting teams in the league right now because they seem to be solid at every position except quarterback. And that was the one that we thought they were going to be good at this season. Look, this team gave up, 37 points to Edmonton in the first game. Since then, they've only allowed 21 points per game. Not awesome, but certainly improving. They still got their 4 wide receivers. None of those guys have been injured. They're on pace to get almost 6,000 yards put together this season, no matter who's the quarterback. Edmonton, on the other hand, is on the way down. I'm going Ottawa.
All right, so that would leave it to me, right? Okay. Let's see. Edmonton at Ottawa. First glance, I was going to write my name down on the Edmonton because of what Brian said. Mike Riley's there. Both teams are going to score a lot of points. But as Robert said, I think with Henry Burris, hopefully he just didn't get old overnight. That does happen to people. Happened to me a long time ago. But I'm going to go with Henry Burris to play better. I'm going to go with Ottawa to outscore him, so I'm going to pick Ottawa. So, Brian, any final words?
Yeah, I'd really like not to go 0-4 this week. So if I go anything less than 2-2, I'm going to have to go and borrow Mike's dog to go make picks for me. So.
No, my dog won't go out of the house anymore because he's afraid of the dark anyways.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I may need his help. So, all right.
Well, all right. So Brian will have a picking guide dog next week. But I think I already had that idea, so you got to find your own damn dog. Robert?
As I said before, it's coming true to form. Right now it's still a wide open race. On any given day, anybody can beat anybody. So all these teams right now, as I said before, are jockeying for position. There's no sleeper team right now because anybody can beat anybody. So right now these teams have to establish themselves, and go out there and prove who's a front runner. This week and next week, someone's going to a few teams are going to break out in the front of the crowd. So we're going to find out who that is. So you know what? It's a midpoint of the season. Time to define who you are as a team.
Yeah, most definitely. I completely agree with that. I think every one of these games is huge and has huge consequences this week, I think. Dieter?
Yeah, it's been crazy. But that's the CFL, really. Any week, any team can beat another team. So this week is probably not going to be any different, but it should be some good games, and, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens.
All right, and I saved Oz for last because he's probably going to talk the longest out of all of us.
Well, all I have to say is I can't wait for 2-3 weeks from now when the CFL picture will be totally clear and we'll all know who's going to win the Grey Cup, and so I can bet and make a lot of money on it.
Are you being sarcastic again, Oz?
A little bit.
Okay, well, knock it off. You just sound like an ass. But
sorry,
all right.
it's past beer o'clock here, so I'm just
all
waiting
right.
for the buzzer.
Well, until we have a beer sponsor, let's not bring that up. All right, guys, make sure you check out Oz and Joe's Rouge, White, and Blue show this week. Make sure you check out all the articles on thegruelingtruth.net. Let's see. We all available to do this again next Monday night, guys?
I am.
I'm there.
I'm there.
I'll be here if
All
I can
right.
borrow your dog.
Will you leave my dog alone? I mean, that's just, come on. It's my dog. He's my best friend. You can't have him. All right, guys, check out all of our shows on iHeart, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Google. You know the drill. Anywhere you find podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Os Davis, Brian Schmidt, Dieter Brock, Robert Drummond, I am Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.